let's talk about some bees. So when we did the video about what our plans were for the year, we said, hey, we lost our hives last year. We don't want to do that again. We're going to try some different things to better help them handle the winter this year. Bees are on the farm, and we have started doing those things. So in order to get them set up right, we have done two things. First things first, we built them a better apiary. Last year, we built a simple platform for our hives that was cinder blocks and a standard pallet on top. It worked. I'd seen others do it, but I don't think it was anywhere near high enough to keep them out of the snow as was needed in winter. I also think it would have been just generally better and easier on them if they had more elevation. So this year, we built an apiary table to put the hives on. It's a pretty simple construction, a set of 18-inch 4x4 legs held together with 1x8 and a 2x4 as a cross piece. The entire thing is about 8 feet long and about 20 inches front to back, just big enough to support a hive evenly from the center. That's what we did with the apiary as a basic support. It was not a particularly hard build. Everything is made out of pressure-treated lumber, should be good for long-term contact with the ground. And we put a piece of landscape fabric underneath it to help keep the tall grasses and everything from growing up and through the table, just to give a little bit more space to the bees. After 2 weeks of having it up and the bees in it, we think we can probably do better with that piece. So we'll be doing some landscape around the base of it just to better control weeds in a week or two. So that was issue one, setting them up such that when winter comes this fall and winter, that wasn't something we could easily retrofit into our existing apiary setup. We've also just installed 2 new hives. We built new hives for this year. We will be repurposing our existing 2 hives for next year when we hope to expand the apiary to 4 hives. It just felt appropriate for us to get new hives this year just to make sure everything was perfectly clean and sterile, just in case. Because speaking of clean and sterile, our bees have a bit of competition on the farm, especially right now. So behind me are 24 beehives. These are the contract bees that come to pollinate the blueberries every spring. They're here for about 4 to 6 weeks, and they're traveling hives. They go all over everywhere, pollinating different crops. Great, you know, it's a nice service to be able to hire, but it means that I have 24 hives behind me carrying potentially diseases, and also these are 24 mature hives. With my 2 hives that are just nucleuses right now, that's a lot of competition. So both of our hives have hive extenders on them. So with 24 hives right over here, our existing hives have a lot of competition. So with 24 hives behind me, I needed to protect the rather weak hives we just acquired from it. And so each of the hives temporarily has an entrance reducer on it. It's just a plastic grate that only has 1 small opening. And the entire point of that tiny little opening is it gives a very easy point for that hive to defend itself from robber bees, because bees like to raid other hives for the honey. It's just something they do. So this protects them from that, helps keep them safe, helps keep other bees from going into their hives. So that was the first step. Another thing we did differently this year is instead of getting entire hives, we actually only bought what are called nukes or nucleuses. These are small, tiny subsets of a hive. It is a box with 5 frames of brood and honey in it, and 1 queen, and all of the bees that are appropriate for 5 frames. So they're very, very small, very weak. We brought them in, and then each hive only got a single box to fill out because a box has 10 frames in it. These were only 5, and we let them fill them out for 2 weeks. Today, I went in and I added 10 more frames and another box on top. Also, when we set them up, we fed the hives. We gave them what are called bee patties, which is a mixture of sugar and protein and other good things to help get them started, to help jumpstart them. You know, that way they don't have to forage very far for the calories and nutrients they need to build up the hive. So we put a bee patty in both of them. Today, we're going to give them a second bee patty with each of the new hives. The hives go on, and it's time for me to suit up. The first time when we installed the nukes, the hives were incredibly aggressive. Today, they were much easier to deal with. Just, you know, kind of goes to show you, when I was installing the nukes, I had to pull apart their existing home. Today, I'm just kind of adding on a new roof, so they're nowhere near as angry. Hives are much fuller. There is probably twice as many bees in here as there were when I installed them already, and they're going to keep growing fast. It takes 21 days for an egg to become a bee, and I think we're going to see that happen very quickly as these hives scale up. One hive are Italians. The other hive are Neolians. They are a slightly more aggressive bee that is also a bit hardier and able to deal with harsher winters, theoretically better disease resistance. The Italians are much easier to work with though. We're gonna set these guys up for the rest of the year and hope everything goes well. I'll be checking on them every week or two throughout the summer, and you'll see another video from us this fall as we prepare them for winter. Thank you much. And as always, the algorithm really loves it if you comment and like, so please do. They really help out the channel. And if you're one of the 80% of our viewers who haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and you'll be sure to see our next video as soon as it lands. And see you next time.